ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're pleased to welcome you to Bryant Park in Greensboro, North Carolina for our coverage of the U18 U19 ECNL Boys National Championship, a memorable moment for everybody involved. My name is Dean Lincoln, delighted to be working with Andy Coverstone from St. Louis. Used to work with Bush and St. Louis. Scott Gallagher went to Bellarmine University. Andy, great to be with you for this big-time game.
I appreciate it. I'm excited to watch this game.
All right, Kansas City. Scott Gallagher has come in. They beat the Florida Craze 2-1. They went on to win against the Nationals 1-0. They beat Beach FC 1-0, and they beat New England FC 3-0. They are coached by Brandon Waterman along with John Parker. The goalkeeper will be number 3, Charlie Dusky. Left to right will be 18, Gavin Cole. Number 4, Carson number 23, Sam DeLong, and number 19, Jaden Fairmont. In the middle of the park, it'll be Andrew Porter along with Barrett Kitts. The man who runs the show, number 11, Sam McIntosh. Starting up top will be Beck Rettenmeyer along with number 90, Cade Martin, and number 28, Ryan Grinstead will be the center forward. That's the starting lineup for Kansas City, Scott Gallagher. The San Diego Surf, who are coached by Danny Tonks, led by their longtime club director, Josh Henderson, who went to college right here in Duke, which makes it special for him. They beat FC Whiskey 2-1, CSA Charlotte Soccer Academy 1-0. Their rivals from way back, Petty Adoris 1-1 in penalties. What a game that was. And then beat the Dallas Texans 3-2 to get here. Their starting lineup is number 1, Karst Hurrigan. In left to right, Dylan Grenevald. Number 3, Nicholas Rohr. Number 4, Jerry Ambries. Number 9, Jackson D'Alessandro. That's the back line. Their main midfielder is Andy Kardashian. He's going to Seattle. He sets the tone. The third is Lucas Fonda heading to Davidson. Not that far from here either. And then Xavi Niolate, who is going to play with the San Diego Royal and turn pro. What a story he is. Ryan Townhill is up top. His dad played soccer at Cincinnati. He's headed to Utah. The true talisman of the team, headed to play for Jamie Clark in the University of Washington, number 91, Charlie Kosakoff, and number 12, Stephen Dunphy. Great pace. He's headed to play at Notre Dame. You've heard a lot of big-time D1 schools here, and that's part of this game. A lot of these players going on to play big-time D1 college soccer.
Well, there's no shortage of talent for sure on both of these teams.
National championship loaded with big-time talent. All right, this will be played out of the back. The Surf have it now. The captain is Nicholas Rohr. He's headed to the University of Chicago. He was planning on heading there to play for Julianne Sitch, who made history last year as the first female coach to lead that team to a national championship. But she's now at Denver with the women's team. A moment, beautiful pass, beautiful finish, and the goal for the San Diego Surf, making it 1-0 early on.
We're only a minute into this game, and what a start for San Diego Surf. As you saw, they're coming down the right-hand side of the field, cuts it back across the box, and it's a one-time finish. Nice finish in the upper 90 as well, but great, cool finishing in this moment, this early on in the game.
Well, under these heat and these conditions to get that kind of start, 1-0 San Diego Surf. And the goal coming for the San Diego Surf from number 14, Xavi Niolate, who, as I mentioned, is playing with the San Diego Royal, and I think that's what he's going to do. He's going to go immediately to the pro. He doesn't have plans to go to college and certainly finish that one like a pro.
Definitely. He's a great player, great kid that you've seen in these stages every single year. He's no stranger to this platform. He's no stranger to a big game, and he just seems to show up and take over games, especially when they're the biggest stakes.
So a big-time start for the Surf. I mean, we barely got the lineups over. And the Surf get it done Shabby, who played a key role in the penalties to knock off Doris as well. Play it out wide. It's Ryan Townville, as a high energy player, number 8, for the serve. He's headed to play soccer at Utah. His dad played soccer at Cincinnati, which unfortunately no longer has a men's and college soccer program. So Charlie Dusty, who's headed to Charleston, had to pick that first ball out of the net as the San Diego serve with an early 1-0 lead.
Can we push the line? Can we push the line, Sammy? Can we push
Andy,
the
let's talk a
line?
little bit about the heat. These kids are used to it, but it is extra humid today.
It is, and it's both teams have to deal with heat in their own way. I think San Diego coming off the West Coast, maybe not as used to the humidity that's going on right now. Kansas City, I think, would have a little bit of, if you want to call it an advantage, just in terms of dealing with humidity and this type of heat, but certainly doesn't look like it's affected San Diego yet.
All right, good take. Caden Martin from Lee's Summit West, where he was coached by Chris Brizendine. He's headed to college to play in Drury. He is now going to lead the throw-in. As he'll give it to Jaden Fairmont. Throw-in handled by the serve with an early 1-0 lead. I'm talking just a couple minutes in. And serve with a wonder start. One packet here by Kansas City Scott Gallagher. Let's see how they respond. That'll be key, Andy, for sure.
Yeah, Kansas City maybe with a bit of nerves affecting them to start the game there as they give up a goal early, but they look to be trying to settle into the game.
Played up over the top. Jerry Ambry, center midfielder, was there to head it away. And it'll come back to Kansas City Scott Gallagher. Everybody familiar with St. Louis Scott Gallagher. At one time, there was Bush Soccer Club that kind of all combined, and now the Scott Gallagher name starting to reach out into other parts of Kansas City, actually trying to make a name on their own, even separate from St. Louis. By Clegian, who was headed to UC Riverside to play for Tim Capello. A couple of UC Riverside players, including the right back Jackson Santo, for the San Diego Surf. Right in the middle of the park now. Now out wide, it'll find Caden Martin. Martin shift off the ball, referee play on. Now we'll find
Yeah, release, Brett.
so throw in coming now for
We go forward here.
Jaden Fairmont, number 19. Went to high school at Livernoor, played for Tom Rajkov, signed with Drake and Pat Flynn. And back here by the serve. The little
Yes, ready.
drop
Yes,
in the
Steve, help us, ready.
as they find Shabby.
Good, Seymour. Good. Fight together. Come on, Keith. Close the line. Close the line, Green. Up.
Coming the other way. Kansas City Scott Gallagher. Better from them as they try to work it through the midfield. There's Andrew Porter.
How do we get it to you here, Jaden?
Porter, who's headed to Graceland, where his dad also
Join us.
played
Can you
in
join us in the
Iowa.
attack, Jaden?
So legacy player headed to Graceland, NAIA, Iowa. What are you seeing right now here, Andy?
It seems like Scott Gallagher has kind of found their feet after that early first goal. They've been able to get forward. They look a little bit better. They look switched on as players right now, and they're threatening, enjoying a little bit more possession. They've been on the ball a little bit more, so it's a good response for them after that early goal.
But now the big more Sam McIntosh is Gonna get it out wide. Good job by McIntosh. He's the engine. He'll go 90 minutes. One of those players, does not matter the conditions. They tracked him at 8-9 miles again. This one will go out of bounds, and they'll say, just joined Johnny Ralati with the early goal for San Diego Surf, and they lead at 1-0. We're in the 9th minute. Dean Linky along with Andy Coverstone, delighted to be here to call the ECNL U19 Boys National Championship. Great ball over the top. Surf trying to add to their lead. That shot just missing. Well done by the Surf as that found Stephen Dumpy. He's headed to play at Notre Dame. Of course, Notre Dame, a regular fixture in the NCAA tournament and always very strong in the ACC.
Yeah, it's definitely a big powerhouse program. Anybody from the Midwest wide group knows about Notre Dame and the kind of program they have here. Just a quick comment on Xavi. Just everything from Surf looks to be playing through his feet right now. He's been busy and on the ball and picked out a great pass there in that last play.
Kansas City Scott Gallagher, and he'll come back to the Surf. We'll get a little on-air check real quick from Andrea Wheeler if audio is okay.
Ready, you're not done!
Over the top. Defending, coming all the way back for Kansas City. As that was headed back by Sam DeLong. Sam DeLong is uncommitted, but he has a lot of big-time D1 schools on his list. He's going to play somewhere. Scored a goal against the Crays to get things started in that first game, 2-1. As the center back, and DeLong will play it back to Dusky. Dusky, who played high school at Shawnee Mission East under Jamie Kelly. He's headed to Charleston, the College of Charleston. Ralph Lundy, the longtime legend, now gone. Keith Wiggins is now the head coach there. But again, they find Xavi. What a great touch by Xavi. And then dropped back over. And a foul called. Earning the foul was Ryan Townhill, described as a high-energy player, as I mentioned earlier, headed to Utah. Over the ball is Xavi. He may not be shooting Andy Coverstone, but from the little that I've seen already, if there's a guy that could shoot from here, it's him. I don't think he is, but he could definitely take a shot.
He's got enough about him, certainly, to try and pick out maybe this near post, try to curl it right foot over the wall and into that left side there, but looks like they're going to deliver a pass on it.
It is far post. Read pretty neatly there by big man Charlie Dusky, described as a vocal leader of the team. He's going to be a business major at the College of Charleston. So Dusky with great size, good range, long arms, good wingspan, nice looking goalkeeper. Kansas City Scott Gallagher in the all green. San Diego Surf in white, blue, and white. It's a 1-0 lead for the San Diego Surf. He was in the first 3 minutes with hustle again. Coming over there by Ryan Townhill, high energy player. His decision making the into and outside channels has been great. Now a good chance here for Kansas City. Caden Martin. Martin down near the corner. Martin's going to drop it back. And it's knocked out of bounds. That was back to Rettenmeyer. Rettenmeyer, uncommitted, comes from an athletic family. Mom, Deborah, ran track at Missouri State. Paul played soccer at Missouri State. San Diego Surf, led by Danny Tunks. Kansas City Scott Gallagher, led by Brandon Waterman, as their head coaches. The Surf going to try to build it out of the back. Their two center backs for the Surf, Ambreeze and Lure. Lure with his armband. This is better now from the Surf. They were under some pressure after scoring that goal. Now they're having a little freedom down the right side. Here they go. They're waiting to try to find Xavi. Good job by Kansas City to win it back there.
Yeah, well done from Kansas City. As you've seen now, Surf attacking down that right-hand side 3-4 times where they've had some success, but here goes Scott Gallagher the other way.
Good opportunity here for Kansas City Scott Gallagher. Looked like a little shove there from Blair, but they'll say play on. It'll stay with Kansas City Scott Gallagher. These two teams seated in the top 5 coming in. So no surprise really to see either of these two teams here playing for an ECNL U18, U19 national championship.
No surprise, certainly. Definitely had their bumps in the road this week in this playoff setting, but both teams coming in here as, you could almost say, favorites. Definitely teams that no one's surprised about, but quality on both sides, ability to score goals on both sides, ability to keep people out of the net, that's what the main thing in terms of playoff soccer. So good matchup here, I think, in general.
The Surf have 3 players already heading straight to the pros. In addition to all the big-time D1 schools. And when I say big-time, to me, in today's world, that doesn't mean just D1 powers. The college soccer game have changed. And Marshall proved that a few years ago, beating Indiana in the final. You do not need to come from a big D1 final. Davidson, of course, in the early 90s, making it all the way to the College Cup. So, I'll tell you what, if there's a dream, they can make it happen in men's college soccer right now.
Absolutely. As you've seen the game advance, I feel, and we've certainly talked about this with these youth players, is finding the right program. D1, D2, D3, NAIA. There's certainly good and bad programs on both sides and at every level.
This is good build here from the Surf. Good overlapping run. Sent back. Good opportunity right in front. And denied there. Dusky was ready as well. For the Surf, they really make quick decisions and do not mess about at all. Squared over again. Again. One in the middle. KCSG. Captain obvious here, Andy, but it's really important that Kansas City does not allow that second goal here, particularly in the first half, to the Surf.
Yeah, and we spoke about the heat earlier, so I think, again, going down 2 goals, it's just as the day wears on, as it gets hotter and hotter and the humidity sets in, I think it's maybe harder and harder to dig yourself out of that hole. So certainly, momentum-wise, you don't want to give up that second.
That was a great trap by Caden Martin to give it up. Good hold up as well. Martin gets back on it. The 4 white jerseys are around.
Just connect back. Just connect.
Always drop back to Sam McIntosh, who's headed to play at Rockhurst. Tony Toko, one of the legendary coaches. The guy is among the, I think, maybe top 5 all-time winningest coaches in the history of college soccer at any level. Still getting it done at Rockhurst. Here comes Kansas City again on the attack, again denied by the Surf. So one change, Dylan Gronewald is not wearing number 11. He's wearing number 5, and he is a big-time talent. He's headed to play for Jeremy Gunn at Stanford, which is credit of power. Of course, Jeremy Gunn was great here at UNC Charlotte, went out to Stanford, won 3 in a row at Stanford, just recently, which is incredible. He's always looking for, of course, you think Stanford, you think high IQ, but players with high soccer mentality, and he's one of them. This is over the top. And the big man, Charlie Dusky, does well to use his chest and chest it down.
Yeah, a little bit awkward with that ball, getting the better of one of the center backs there for Kansas City, Gallagher, but Charlie Dusky on his horse, very aware, steps early, and you see comes out of his box to make that play. But a little bit of a nervy moment there for the back line of Kansas City, Scott Gallagher.
All right, we got a change here for Kansas City. Scott Gallagher, as coming into the game, is number 10. We were expected to see Baha Ibrahim, who has had a big-time tournament. He has been involved in multiple goals for the team, and they like him coming off the bench and bringing that spark, and that's exactly what he's going to try to do now for KC. Scott Gallagher as they're down 1-0.
Yeah, a bit of strategy from the Scott Gallagher coaches there. As it's been a long week, a lot of games played, and you got to think maybe there's some tired legs, and you can get a little bit more out of bringing the player like Baha on late in the game or midway through the half, just to see if he can give you that spark, give you a little bit of creativity on the field.
Baha played at Blue Valley Southwest for Eric Jones. 20 minutes in. Corner kick. Cleared out of there. Well done by KCSG to take care of it. And right away you see Baha make an impact. Baha's family is from East Palestine, and his dad actually played professionally over there. Came through Kuwait to find his way to the United States. Pretty fascinating story. Tackle, one back here by KC Scott Gallagher, inside the 18, one extra pass, little turn. Was trying to make an impact earlier was Baha. They were trying to find him right on top of the 6.
Yeah, wasting no time to get himself on the ball, get touches early in and around the box. So looking to feature him a little bit more in those attacking positions.
All right, we've got our first yellow card, and the yellow card is going to come to number 4, Carson Schmidt. So Carson Schmidt with a yellow card. So you know Mom and Dad, Kim and Brian, will be looking on. Hoping he'll be all right. He's going to start out at Johnston County Community College in Overland Park, but told me that he'll look to get 2 years in there and then hopefully find his way to a bigger program.
It's a more common route for a lot of players these days as they look to get some experience, get the undergraduate schooling done before they make a big jump, a big move to a stronger school, bigger school. Good decisions for a lot of these players.
All right, a water break, and that was planned. They'll do a water break in both halves. And so a water break at 21-14. And the difference in the game right now is Xavi Naulati, who plays with the San Diego Royal. Of course, that's Landon Donovan's club. It'll be interesting to see what happens with the San Diego Royal with MLS getting a San Diego team down the road. Hard to imagine a San Diego MLS team without Landon Donovan, so I would think they'd figure that out, don't you think?
Well, there's nobody in U.S. soccer who doesn't know Landon Donovan, and certainly San Diego, being a powerhouse of soccer for so many years, is where his hometown is. But it's tough to say, as I'm sure he's put a lot of heart and soul into building up that current team he's with. He's certainly a San Diego figurehead. He's a United States soccer figurehead. So can't disagree with you there.
Stay with us at halftime. We'll talk to the boys commissioner of the ECNL, Jason Cutney, about getting to this point and the next step for the younger ages as well. Dewan out of Mississippi is the man in the middle. Ian Walston is your A1. Sebastian Rodriguez is your A2. And Antonio Perez from Florida is our fourth official.
Yeah, can we put
He'll
the
be the
line?
man right in front of
Find
us.
the moment, Sammy.
All right, you can hear the bench of Kansas City, Scott Gallagher, saying, can we find the line? They started to look really dangerous, actually, in the final minutes before the water break, I thought,
Can we
Andy.
push?
Yeah, good moments from them in and around the box. You wonder if maybe that water break helps Surf kind of reset, get their feet, and get forward again as they look to start dropping back a little bit deeper and deeper. But Kansas City, like I said before, they've responded well. They're looking to pick their moments. They brought Baja on, who we know can create some great attacking moments for them. So definitely not out of this one.
Vanderbilt will drop it back to Lure. Lure now. Lure is going to come all the way back to his goalkeeper,
Connect with Andrew.
Clygian. So Carson Clygian. His mom is Sozy. His dad is Ara, like Ara Artigan. This will come all the way back to Brevin Cole, who went to Olathe South. He's headed to UMKC, described as a workhorse by his coach.
Andrew.
1-0. It is the U19 Boys National Championship game coming to you live. So pleased to be joined by Andy Coverstone as our analyst. My name is Dean Leakey. Delighted to be with you for this one. This is the work from the San Diego Surf. They'll push it out wide. Runnabell making the run. This is your center back, and it'll roll off of him, the future Stanford star. Found himself in maybe a little different position, didn't quite know what to do with it.
Well, good movement from San Diego Surf off the ball. As you saw, the left-handed side, this player here, he's tucked in, he's checked to the ball, he's invited some pressure from the back line, and that allowed him to get around the outside and get forward and create an overload situation on the left side.
Push again. Push again.
Runnabell, again, just reminding you, has worn 11
Run you back.
most of this tournament, wearing number 5
Slide,
today.
Jacko, yep.
So
Slide
that's
there.
the left back spot. The Surf, they beat FC Wisconsin in the first game 2-1, then beat CSA 1-0. That 1-1 battle with one of their huge rivals out on the West Coast, and then a 3-2 win over the Dallas Texans to get to this spot right here where they find themselves on top 1-0. We're in the 27th minute. We will have added time because of the water break. All right, so you get the water break, right? Andy Coverstone, and if you're Kansas City Scott Gallagher, knowing that you're down 1 goal early, even maybe before you even thought you were going to be, before you even set, what's your message to the team?
Well, first and foremost, the game's still early. There's a lot of time to play, so they don't have to panic. They don't have to start thumping balls forward or going away from their game. They've created a few chances. They've looked like they settled into the game after the goal was scored. So I think the message is make sure you definitely want to get on the front foot. You want to get forward, but you don't want to panic. You don't want to change what got you here in the first place.
Counterattack coming from Kansas City Scott Gallagher, but once again, the answer is there. Left side. Will be a throw-in. I want to thank some folks from the ECNL, Elizabeth Green, the event lead, Kelly Grant, Josh Bruce, Andrew Wheeler, and her incredible team. Matt Coverstone, who's with me and also does Instagram. Tristan Jackson, Olivia Page. as well. Huddle for live streaming and game recordings. They also provided all clubs with the full huddle assist breakdowns of each game. The next step for the other age groups coming out of Greensboro here in Bryant Park will be heading to Southern Cal, Silver Lakes Soccer Complex. So U13 through U17, they need to come here, win, and then they've got one more step. U18, U19, these players have to report, most of them, to college soccer in about a week or so. So that's why they finished it right here.
Yeah, this is the end of the road for the U18s and U19s we've been talking about all week. The journey stops here in North Carolina, so one of these teams is going to go home a champion. But it's been a long season. It's a tough road on all their bodies, so you want to get the games, the championship over with enough time to allow them to go recover, mentally and physically recover and rest and get ready for their college seasons.
That long ball sent by that man there, Sam DeLong, comes right back at him. He wins the header. There's Brevin Cole. Brevin Cole, I mentioned, headed to UMKC. What a brilliant touch. As this one played here now to Jackson D'Alessandro. Squared back across. Kansas City, Scott Gallagher. I'll tell you what, the 50-50 balls right now, the San Diego Surf, they're winning them, and then transition, they are on the go.
They've been very quick in transition and looking dangerous in that moment right there. As you see Kansas City, Scott Gallagher actually having a little bit more possession on the ball. Surf has been a little bit happier to sit deeper in their own half, win the ball, and then attack quickly up the flanks. So a little bit different game plan than you usually see from a San Diego Surf side, but it's worked for them so far.
Into the game at the water break comes Jack Lucas, who is an engineering major. He went to Shawnee Mission East, where he was coached by Jamie Kelly. He's going to go to Bucknell and play for Dave Brandt. Dave Brandt won a ton of titles at Messiah, then went to Navy. Didn't exactly like that, but he has found a home. He said he's going to retire at Bucknell. I've caught some games at Bucknell. It's a beautiful venue, and they always play really well in the Patriot League, and that's where he's headed. All right, we've got some changes now coming for the Surf. Coming into the game will be Jack Bowers, who's headed to Cal, wearing number 10. And also coming into the game is number 25, Finn Linus. Finn Linus has been big time in this tournament. He has scored some goals. He scored a goal in the 2-1 win over FC Wisconsin, and he scored the game winner in the Charlotte Soccer Academy. So both these teams have players that come off the bench with a purpose to score and make things happen.
Yeah, you can't get to this stage at this point of the season without having a deep lineup, without having a deep roster, players who can change a game for you, ways to rest legs, ways to change up how your team might play in the moment. So plenty of firepower on both benches for these teams.
One back by Cole. Cole sends it long. Handled immediately there by the captain for the Surf, Lloyd. Played forward, and no problem for Charlie Dusky. Dusky, as I mentioned, when he gets to Charleston, will be a business major. I was surprised. I felt like 90% of the players already knew what they were going to major in, which is a really nice start. Sent back across. I'm not sure if the ECNL Boys Commissioner, Jason Cutney, ever knew what he was going to do when he got there.
Well, he might certainly be still figuring that one out.
We'll talk to Jason Cutney at halftime. Obviously having a little fun as he's standing nearby. We're 32 minutes in with a 1-0 lead for the Surf. We talked a lot about it for sure, Andy, but you can tell that these are D1 quality players.
Yeah, first and foremost, what you see is just athleticism, the raw physical talent that they have on both sides of the ball. Whether you're tall or short, whatever, they're definitely just pure athletes on the field. But then what sets them apart is that technical ability, the creativity, the ability to play, the way they know the game. You see it here on this field right now. You can kind of tell this is next level soccer.
Andre Filiboshian sets the tone in the middle of the field. Big presence, number 6. They played it through him and then started to tap down the right side. Kansas City Scott Gallagher tries to win it back. Let's see if they can do anything with it. That's Bill Kitts who's on it now. St. Thomas Aquinas, Craig Union, big-time program. He's going to head to Drake and play for Pat Fleming. His dad actually played at Tulsa. This is another good opportunity. The serve, step over. Perhaps getting a little too fancy is Shabby. Shabby back over. He's got one already, looking for a second. I tell you, he can hit it with both feet. He smoked that one with his left foot.
Yeah, opportunity created there. It's good recovery from Kansas City center back there as he's giving the ball away in a bad position, but got back, was able to slow Shabby down and keep him to the outside of the goal for the most part there. But another moment late, maybe some tired legs starting to form on both sides.
Here's Lucas, who just came into the game, as I mentioned, during that water break. He'll run out of real estate. He'll go out of bounds and do a goal kick back to the turf. They have a 1-0 lead. More changes now coming for the surf. I think a lot of that has to do with the heat, because when I talked to the coaching staff late last night, they were expected only to play 2 or 3, but I think this is now at least 3 or 4 deep here. Is Ali Amaliki's coming in, a forward midfielder, comes in with an impressive 3.5 GPA, and now coming out of the game for a moment is Shabby Naulati, which I believe if you're Kansas City Scott Gallagher, you will not be disappointed in that.
No, they'll be happy to see the back of his jersey walk off the field there, but I don't imagine they'll be resting too long, as Ali, who's coming on the left-hand side here, is a very capable player, able to run at you and create off this left side.
Great little flick by St. Louis Scott Gallagher right in the middle of the field by Sam McIntyre. And they've done enough to earn a corner. No, they'll say they'll come back. Goal kick, really well defended. And that's been part of the story as well. Every time you're starting to see Kansas City Scott Gallagher get a little bit more of the ball, that last line of defense has been solid for San Diego. Surf. The 1-0 lead. There's Nicholas Lohr, again, headed to the University of Chicago. Really enjoyed him telling me that one of the big reasons he wanted to go there was because of Julianne Sitch. She made history, first female to win a national championship in her very first season. But now Julianne Sitch, as you might know, has left to go to Denver to coach the women. I would not be surprised if Julianne Sitch sometime soon will be at the pro ranks as well.
Well, definitely capable, as you've seen. It's taken that University of Chicago program and turned it into what it is right now. But a great storyline for soccer in general across America.
This happened just recently because when I called the National Select Game in Richmond, Julianne Sitch was there recruiting for Chicago. So she was still looking for the next set of superstars, including Nicholas Lohr, which she had already secured. I think the great thing about that is she's leaving Chicago in good stead for sure. All right, the big man, Dusky, sends it long. Good little touch here, trying to break through. Dancing with it, pushed outside. Boy, good idea, good ball. That's Jackson D'Alessandro. This will fall back now to Milan. Milan quickly drops it to Amaliki. Amaliki popped in the air, hoping to earn a corner kick, and will. Corner kick, San Diego Surf, they have a 1-0 lead.
Well, that's well defended from Kansas City Scott Gallagher there in the box. There's a little bit of alarm bells going off there, but well defended. San Diego Surf here with a corner and a chance to go up 2-0.
Corner kick. Wow, driven in. Boy, he was, I tell you, back there like almost thinking Olympic goal. That's how you take a
decision run. Oftentimes you see a keeper hesitate there. If it's floated into the box, the keeper will come out, deal with it, no problems. But when you whip it in like that, it causes all sorts of problems. And an unmarked man for Surf on the back post just doesn't quite get the timing on the header right to get it down and on frame. But a good ball whipped in off the corner there.
Danny Toms telling me about Jack Bowers that he'll come off the bench and bring us an incredible range of passing, great service from corners, ability to pick out short and long range targets, stretch the field, great distribution. And I think we saw it there. That was really well taken.
Well, he's certainly got the hair to back up his play, that's for sure.
San Diego Surf, of course, the headquarters of the Surf signature club. And Coach Tunk's saying they like to think they play a certain brand of football, very distinct in how they like to possess. His words late last night. Great to talk to him. We kind of may have put each other to bed, actually. We talked from 10 to 11.
Tends to happen these late nights on a long playoff stretch.
Square there. Wheel's not sure about that comment, but it's true. Headed away. I guess who is going to be on it here now as number 10 gets over there, Baha Ibrahim. Baha Ibrahim, spark plug off the bench. Getting ready to take the corner kick for Kansas City, Scott Gallagher. Brandon Waterman, assisted by John Parker. Aaron Fitz, the team coordinator. Adam Lamb, their club director. Ibrahim. They're looking for a handball. They don't get it. Shot down low. Kept alive. Cleared out of there. That second shot coming from Sam McIntosh. Wearing the 11 jersey. Now on the breakaway. The transition is on for the Surf. And stepping up just in time. Winning it back. One right back there. Starting to open up here as the final minutes or so. That was a clear foul by Grunewald. And they played advantage. Grunewald, you saw him grab the jersey there.
Yeah, looking for maybe a tactical foul as the game opened up there and a bit of a back and forth transition for both teams, just trying to get them to slow it down, keep themselves from being in too much danger on the transition. Coming off of that short corner, kind of a designed corner kick for Scott Gallagher as they tried to invite Surf players to the top of the box and then flick it in behind. But the danger when you do that, as you saw, is a quick transition and maybe an automatic counterattack for Surf.
All right, two more players coming in for Kansas City, Scott Gallagher. I'll tell you those in a moment after this sequence. Here's Ibrahim. Baha dancing with it. Takes it back in. Good pass from Baha. Just missing. What a pass from Baha. Good idea to go left there. The left side of the door, the far post was wide open. And just missing right there, I believe, was the player who just came in, Jackson Slavin. Number 25 it was. And he's headed to Mid-America Nazarene. So even before we can tell you about Jackson Slavin, he almost had the equalizer.
Well, he's made an impact almost right off the bat there. Great feet from him as he gets that ball in a tight space in front of the goal. Tries to shift it from right to left and just tuck it into the side net. Just missing that, but good movement from him, good feet, and he's involved right away.
He has brought the kind of energy that his coach brings. He had the shot and just puts the pressure down on the goalkeeper. Got a train running through here right next to the main stadium field at Bryant Park in Waynesboro.
Goes back to what you were saying about the importance of the depth of your rosters here, as you've got changes made for both teams and substitutions being made that have made an immediate impact on both sides.
That's really well said, Andy. This is the U19 ECNL National other subs trying to make a difference, including Ethan Young. Ethan Young will have it knocked out of bounds. Ethan Young will play at Loyola Chicago. He's already met the 103-year-old sister Jean, who is, of course, part of the lore of Loyola Chicago. Got 3 minutes of added time. We're already into it. And that is handled there by Phlegian, headed to UC Riverside, as I mentioned, to play for Coach Tim Cupello. He'll be joined by his teammate Jackson De Alessandro. They call him Jacko, and that always makes it a little bit easier when you head to college with somebody that you played club soccer with quite a bit.
Yeah, it definitely helps take the mystery and the nerves out of that situation as you go into it with a little bit of unknown.
Slavin has been really good off the bench. Runneville did not like the call, but I think it was the right call.
It looked like it came off the back of his foot as he tried to turn away from pressure there. I think he was trying to maybe sell the goal kick.
Sammy and Mitch, how can we work this out in the middle?
And then short with the corner. And no problem there for the goalkeeper. The shot from the distance. And that would be the first half whistle. Jaden Fairmont with the final shot. Your halftime score for the ECNL U18 U19 National Championship: San Diego Surf 1, Kansas City Scott Gallagher 0. Your thoughts, Andy, on the first half?
Well, a great first half from both sides. Obviously, San Diego Surf gets the goal early on, and they're allowed to kind of sit in a bit more. For Kansas City, I guess my message to them would be test the keeper a bit more. A little bit too cute around the box, but a great half for both teams. Looking forward to seeing what the second half brings.
All right, we are going to step aside for about 20 seconds, make a mic switch, and come back in about less than a minute to visit with the boys commissioner for the ECNL, Jason Cutney. The halftime score of the ECNL U18 U19 National Championship game: San Diego Surf 1, Kansas City Scott Gallagher 0.
I don't want to go through parents. I know, but parents may...
back to the main stadium field here at Bryant Park in Greensboro. Your host for the 2023 ECNL National Championship game for 18 and 19 and the playoffs for 13 to 17 to advance. Your halftime score of the U19 Boys National Championship game is the San Diego Surf 1, Kansas City Scott Gallagher 0. I'm Dean Linke, proud to be here, proud to be the host of the ECNL podcast where you've heard my guest, the ECNL Boys Commissioner Jason Cutney, quite often. He's kind enough to join me now. Jason, great to see you in person at this fantastic event.
You as well, Dean. Awesome to have you in for our finals. I know you just left San Diego for the girls' finals, so we appreciate you crossing those 3,000 miles and making it our way.
Well, it's my pleasure because, as you know, I call a lot of college soccer, and so a lot of these players that are on this field, I'll be calling next fall. I mean, just in a couple of months. ECNL is the best at preparing kids for the next level.
Yeah, and that's been our lane. You know, we've tried to focus in on what we do best, and it's providing a great league platform for all ages, but we know that the pathway for these boys predominantly in this country is college soccer, and so everything we can do to get them ready for that, big games like this, great atmosphere, stadium, locker rooms, you know, the streaming of games, things like that, the media day that Andrea and her team put together yesterday, that makes them feel like the next level is upon them, and then the game has to start, right? And so it's cool to see it. We had 463 college coaches at this event, scouting, just a big event for us, but again, the platform is there, we know the lane, and we just want to be really good at it.
463 college coaches, that's phenomenal. That's all levels, right?
Yeah, it's all levels, and we certainly purchased a lot of Chick-fil-A sandwiches this week, and a lot of drinks and Gatorades and waters for the staff, but well worth it. That's the one item on the budget we are always happy to go over budget for. So.
Obviously, I explained already why the U18 U19 National Championship game ends here. The journey for the rest will continue, but sticking with the fact that it ends here because the kids got to report to school pretty soon as well. But a lot of these kids have already gone to their colleges. They graduated early and then came back, which I think says a lot about how much they've enjoyed playing for their clubs.
Yeah, and that's very true. I mean, we've heard that time and time again that the parents of these players want them to finish their youth careers well. They want to see that last hurrah, right? But the boys want that too. They want to come back. They want to play for something. The playoffs is just different. It's a unique experience. You only get to do that sometimes once in your life. You know, I've played soccer for a long time. I played professionally for 9 years. I've never played in a national championship game. You know, and so if you have the opportunity to do that, you got to go for it. It's great to see some of these boys, the way they've come together, and it's also, it brings back the memories because when you finish your career as a youth player, you separate, right? You go different ways. You go to college. Sometimes you see each other on the field in college, sometimes you professionally, but you don't know. And so this is the last game for a lot of these boys to be together, and you can see that all over their faces when they arrive this morning.
We're in the voice of Jason Cutney, the boys commissioner for the ECNL, and I'd like to get the best explanation from you. We know we have the 2 seed and the 5 seed. 16 teams come here, right? How hard is it to rank them 1 through 16? It doesn't just happen in 5 minutes, does it?
Well, it starts bigger. It starts with 32 teams. So we start with a 32-team field. Last year it was a little bit different than it is this year. Last year 16 reported in for the Champions League, 16 for North American Cup. This year we started all 32 in the Champions League, which was amazing. So it gave everyone that chance on day one to separate themselves and either go down the path of Champions League or North American Cup. So that broke into those 16s after the first day, and then it's just a dogfight, right? We saw Concord earlier. They had to play NTH NASA and Atlanta versus Atlanta matchup in the finals. Great game. Now we have a situation where you got the middle of the country, Kansas City, represented, and San Diego Surf. Now, San Diego Surf certainly a club that's been here before at different ages. They've got national championships under their belt. For KCSG, it's a new club to our league. A year and a half into it, 2 years into it, and they're excited to be here. So I think what you see is when you have this few teams going at it, they're going to be the best of the best. And it's going to require their best players to be healthy. And that's something that we've seen throughout the day here, that sometimes these boys that are carrying nagging injuries into it, they just got to find a different gear for this last game. And so far it's been a good, entertaining one.
All right, so sticking with what else is happening here at Bryant Park, break down the other age groups, what they're doing and what their next step is.
So today we have the U13s and the U14s playing to their final 8. So those 8s will move on to Norco, California in just a couple of weeks' time. The 15s, 16s, and 17s all played down to their 8s yesterday. So just really exciting, everything on the line types of games. If those games are tied at the end of regulation, they go straight to kicks. Very exciting. You know, the high intensity is noticeable on the field. It's noticeable on the sidelines for the parents and the coaches as well. But just a great atmosphere. You know, we've been fortunate. It is hot, but we've had a very good weather situation this past week. It's been dry. We had some severe threats of hail and high winds on Monday. We didn't get them, right? And no matter what happened, they blew over, they went high, we're all good. So all things considered, a great event. But seeing today the 13s and the 14s, these are the young kids that never seem to get tired. So the energy is fully high, and it's just an electric atmosphere. We've been very happy with everything that we've had this week. The staff has done a great job, and here we are in the national championship game.
Very much self-serving because sponsors are so important, but I do want you to talk about it. I came straight to the field to get ready, but I know at the girls they have the local center, and I know they have the same thing at the boys. The sponsor support now for the ECNL, the corporate family, phenomenal.
Yeah, but just in the league itself, we have over 90,000 players registered in ECNL. That's the boys, the girls, the ECNL, and the ECNL regional leagues. But when you really extrapolate that out with the clubs involved, you're talking about 500,000 children that are involved in clubs that are participating in the ECNL. So we certainly know that we work with a lot of soccer families, and that is a certain attraction to partners. But we've limited those partners. We work with partners that really fit what we do well, and that want to be involved in youth soccer. And it's been a godsend for us as a league to have that support. And you can see it all around with Continental, with Huddle, with Beyond Pulse, the things that they're doing and bringing to the table, not just in terms of support with signage around the facility, but they're actually getting involved in what we do. And you see with Huddle bringing a streaming of every single game that we've had in this event. It's been incredible.
Jason Cutney, the boys commissioner for the ECNL, always a pleasure spending time with you. Thank you so much for making time at halftime of this exciting championship game. Good to spend time with you.
Thank you, Jim. I'm sorry to turn it back over to Andy. I know he's certainly much more boring than I am, but here we go for the second half.
The only kid with the ones you love, for sure. And always fun to spend time with Jason Cutney, the commissioner for ECNL boys. Getting ready to start the second half. The San Diego Surf with a 1-0 lead over Kansas City Scott Gallagher. And we welcome back in Andy Coverstone, who is welcome back to the main stadium field here at Bryant Park, Greensboro, North Carolina, home to the U19 ECNL Boys National Championship game. Getting ready to start the second half. The San Diego Surf lead at 1-0 over Kansas City Scott Gallagher. Dean Linke with Andy Coverstone. And Andy, real quickly before we start the second half, let's start with the team that leading the San Diego Surf. If you are head coach Tonks, what's your message to your team with a 1-0 lead?
I guess my message is just press on. I think they did pretty much everything right in that first half. They got their goal early. They defended well. They maybe you could call it bend, don't break, if you will. They sat back. They picked the moments to attack and transition. I think that's what you're going to see a lot of in the second half. Is just that transition moment, importance on getting numbers behind the ball, and then trying to win it and go forward as Scott Gallagher commits more and more numbers forward into the attack. So not much they have to change, maybe a little bit more numbers behind the ball, but that's about it. I think they're on the right path so far.
All right, Andy, and then if you're Brandon Waterman, the top man for Kansas City Scott Gallagher, down 1-0. The goal came within the first 3 minutes of the game. Your message at halftime if you were him?
Well, I think Kansas City was able to get on the ball. I think they possessed the ball well, but I think the message is get numbers into the box. I think they were good on it. They got forward. They had some key moments in and around it, but they never really threatened in terms of testing the goalkeeper, in terms of putting shots on frame. It was a little bit too cute around the box, if you will. So I think the importance for them is just get numbers forward, get numbers in the box, and cause some problems and see if you can maybe get a cheap one, maybe get an ugly one in this second half.
Second half is underway. U18, U19, ECNL Boys National Championship. Kansas City Scott Gallagher out there in their green uniforms head to toe. San Diego Surf in white, blue, and white. Again, the Surf with the 1-0 lead. The difference in the game so far. Shadi Dawati, number 14, is the goal scorer. And obviously the only goal scorer so far with the 1-0 lead. Surf. Surf, send it out wide. Nice little trap by Jackson D'Alessandro. One back. I felt like, actually, to be fair, Brandon Waterman, some of the subs he made late in the first half, those players made a difference. Some of those players are staying out there to see if they can bring the start. So looking for a penalty. Referee slips his play on. This is one of those players that came on and made a difference. It's Ethan Young. Ethan Young now trying to push it forward to Ryan Greenstead. Ryan Greenstead down in the corner. Greenstead has signed with IUPUI. And that's where he'll play his collegiate soccer. That's D1 as well. Shot looking on. The Surf, just like that, going the other way. Their transition game has been strong. Ali Amaliki, who came off the bench in the first half, stays out there. And they go out of bounds. I like that, actually. I like when subs come in if they only get 5 minutes. If they look good, let them come back out there and start the second half.
Yeah, I think that's a great point that you make there. Is they've come on, they've made a difference, they've injected some sort of energy into the game, and you want to show that you trust them. You want to show that you have confidence in them. So you leave them on, you let them see out those first 10, 20, maybe even longer in the second half. But I think good decisions, and there's always a bit of strategy that comes into play when you talk about making substitutions in these games, as you know a player can't re-enter. There's no limit in terms of 3 subs, but there's a little bit of strategy when you're putting them on the field.
Ryan Townhill taking his time, gathering the ball, now takes the corner kick, whips it in, and it's picked right out of the air by Dusky. Long ball. Let's see if Kansas City Scott Gallagher is going to play a little bit more long ball to try to get into it. That works out as it finds Jack Lucas. Lucas, far side. Back and forth. No! They're off the post. I can't believe that didn't go in.
Unbelievable, absolute scenes here from the Kansas City Scott Gallagher bench. It's almost on the field in celebration, but great moment that starts with the Kansas City goalkeeper sending long off the corner kick there. Great work from Jack here on the left-hand side to get it across, and inches away from an equalizer for Kansas City.
So we'll see if they do start to play a little bit more long ball, and time, everything up to the final finish. Kansas City Scott Gallagher coming out hot here, as that one was picked off right there by Jaden Fairmont, number 19. Good hustle. Mitchell Dietrich thought that it was going to stay with him, but it'll come back to the San Diego Surf. Let me tell you, we are just 4 minutes into this game, and if they can somehow keep up this pace, it looks like Kansas City may have a goal in their arsenal. We'll see.
Great start to the second half for Kansas City in terms of energy, in terms of desire to get forward. Like you said, maybe a little bit more long ball and direct play coming from them, but good start.
Sam Brown, the captain, number 23, stepping up to win it for a moment. It's one right back there by Ryan Townhill. Described as a high-energy player. That was an understatement. That guy is everywhere wearing that number 8 jersey.
I've been tired just watching him as he was on the near side that first half and just up and down, up and down. He chases down every ball. He's not afraid to get forward, try to pressure the back line, pressure the keeper. He's that kind of player that I think can make something out of nothing.
I mentioned their names earlier, but I do want to thank again Elizabeth Green, the event lead, Kelly Grant, Josh Bruce, Andrea Wheeler's amazing creative services team, Kristen Jackson, Olivia, and Paige Huddle for their live streaming, and the head of officials, the with Trish. Also want to thank Gatorade, one of the outstanding sponsors. I'm getting ready to pop open a Gatorade right now. It's that kind of weather.
Jack, get one.
Good job! Good signal, Chase!
Good communication coming from Carson Pligian, who's headed, as I mentioned earlier, to UC Riverside. Extraordinary shot stopper is what Danny Tunks said about his ability. As good a shot stopper as he is, he's got to be kissing.
I think that's any keeper's best friend of the two posts and the one crossbar around you, basically. But as he was beat as the ball came across his body on that cross, but not enough to go inside.
You're hearing the voice of Andy Coverstone. He's from St. Louis, played with first soccer, then with St. Louis, Scott Gallagher, so very much part of that family. Went to Bellarmine U in Louisville. It was D2 then, D1 now, which is pretty awesome.
Great to see the program moving forward. And as you know, for me, I'll definitely take all the credit for that move as one of the key players in that program coming up.
Well, you should. So go out of bounds. It'll stay with Kansas City, Scott Gallagher. Brody Phipps on the far side. High school, still deciding where he wants to go. He's got one more year. There are a few players here that are just rising seniors in high school. There are a few that have already been out of high school for a year, but based on their age, we're still eligible to play. Those players from the surf side of things. And as I mentioned, there's a few players on the surf that are going the pro route. All right, San Diego Surf. The game is going to open up because KCSG is going to bring everything, and that'll give the San Diego Surf a lot of good opportunities, I would think, in transition.
It's a team that's really good in possession, that Surf team, and they know how to break down pressure from other sides, so it's risky. Gallagher put numbers forward, but Surf, you wonder if it might play into Surf's hands a little bit, as they are great on the ball and they know how to break down that pressure.
Offside flag was up, so it didn't matter. I wasn't quite sure where the goalkeeper hammered the ball, but the offside flag was up, so we don't have to debate it. We are down on the field, so we're going to miss a couple of things, but I love being down here. I love this perspective. You may be picking up a little bit more than we probably want you to from the coaches, but it is great to be right down here in the middle of it all. I quite like it.
The energy down here on the sidelines is palpable, to say the least.
We'll see what the future holds for having us down here. That was Brody Phipps a moment ago. I do want to go back to the opening minute of the second half. Jack Lucas with the great run, finding Ryan Grinstead. He hit it really well, but unlucky as it hit the far post and went the other way. Really great ball from Lucas to find Grinstead.
And Lucas getting himself involved early.
Wow, a little bit of slip right there.
Get a nervous moment from the San Diego Surf keeper as that ball's gone through his hands. But yeah, we were saying Lucas gets himself involved. He's on the ball 1v1, does a good job of creating and just delivering a great ball over the top onto the foot of his attacking partner.
So a rare mistake from Pidgey. The goalkeeper goes through his hands, sets up this corner kick. Right in front, and Pidgey stayed on his line, so it's a decent opportunity, but going the other way now to Surf. They try to send it into space. And got a foul called against. They wanted a card right there. Let's see if they will get a card. I think they will. There was a breakaway, so a card will now come to number 6, Andrew Porter. So Andrew Porter, who is headed to Graceland, where his father also played college soccer there. He's got a brother, Austin. His mom was a college softball player. Our fearless leader, Andrea Wheeler, was a college softball player.
Yep. Close the line first, Jaden. Tuck in. Up! Up! Come on, Timmy!
You better have known that, Andy.
Oh, I definitely catcher, I believe. Running the show behind the plate.
All right, well done, my man. Way to step up. I kind of put some pressure on you there. I apologize.
Well, I had a 1 in 9 chance of getting that one right, so.
Well, just say yes, even if you didn't.
They did.
Pitch higher.
Played out of the back by Jaden Fairmont. One back here by the surf. Kind of get the feeling the surf may bend a little bit, but not totally break. And then we'll just see how much energy that Kansas City Scott Gallagher has to use to try to get the equalizer.
Yeah, this is a little bit more indicative of a typical surf team here. Stretching the field high and wide in possession in the attacking half, though. Rare mistake from them. You'll see them start to just set in, and as the game goes on, the more and more that they're on the ball, the less legs that Kansas City Scott Gallagher have. They're going to need to commit numbers. They're going to need to try and force mistakes. You'll see some more fouls like that happening just by frustration, trying to make something happen. But right now, this is going to play into the serve's hand.
Big man number 6, Andre Filiboshian, who's headed to Seattle, who sets the tone. He is hard to get the ball away from, which is usually the kind of player that will draw a lot of fouls, and he drew one there. Free kick opportunity for the Surf with the 1-0 lead. It's going to come back again to Kansas City Scott Gallagher. They trail by a score of 1-0. D-Linky along with Andy Coverstone. So pleased to be with you this Saturday morning as we'll crown a champion right here on the stadium field of Bryant Park. U19 U19 ECNL Boys National Championship. And like I said, short of one player to a man, every single player said this would be the biggest moment of their life if they can bring home that trophy. 58 minutes. There's still a lot of life to live, by the way, so we'll have some bigger moments down the road. 58 minutes in, we are anticipating a water break. We'll confirm that with Antonio Perez, the fourth official, but we're anticipating a water break also in the second half. In about 10 minutes. Serve, they win it, and they quickly switch to the point of attack. Ali Amaliki. Oh, wow, great job here now on running out of bounds. Tremendous extra pressure there coming from Jaden Fairmont, who is headed to Drake. There's 2 players already committed to Drake. And another player that has Drake in the top 5 list. So Drake will be picking up 3 players from this game. The Surf trying to add to their lead. Stop there by the big man. Dusty sits down, sits right on top of it. Remember that play right there, because if some way, somehow, KC Scott Gallagher didn't come back, the save right there from Dusty, massive.
Well, a little bit of confusion on the throw in here that leads to a quick break for San Diego, but Dustin comes out very well, cuts the angle, makes himself big, and just gives that Surf player a little less to shoot at on the goal. Huge save from him here.
College of Charleston got a good one headed their way in Dusky. 60 minutes in, 1-0 lead still with the Surf. The Surf scored less than 3 minutes in to make it 1-0, and that scoreline has held. Kansas City Scott Gallagher shot out of a cannon to start the second half. Had almost a sitter, I mean, pretty close to a sitter, and just unlucky as the shot went off the post. 2 more subs getting ready to come in now for KC Scott Gallagher. Baha Ibrahim, who is headed to Rocker, forced to play for one of the legends of the game, Tony Tocco, and Beck Rettenmeyer. Beck Rettenmeyer uncommitted at the moment. As I mentioned, Rettenmeyer comes from an athletic family. Dad played soccer at Missouri State, and Dad Paul, Mom Deborah was a superstar in track. Beck Rettenmeyer, he's actually the player who won a high school title his freshman year and put that above. That's a pretty big deal, right, to win a high school title. So I think after this one, I'll say this is bigger if they can somehow hang in.
Yeah, he hadn't gotten played in this game yet, so maybe that answer will change after today.
Jaden Fairmont headed to play for Pat Flynn and Drake. Got a throw in now for Fairmont. You know, after the mistake from Clegian, he has not left his line. You know, when that ball went through his hands, led to the corner kick, he has stayed on his lines. Look at him, he's still on his line. A little bit of nerves here maybe, trying to wrap this one up. We'll keep an eye on him.
Yeah, you saw the ball go through his hands for that corner just a minute ago, but anytime you get a player hitting a post against you, it sticks in the back of your head.
Stays on his line here again and let that one roll out of bounds, and now he'll manage a little bit of the game as we're in the 62nd minute.
I think one of the toughest things for a young player, especially, we still consider these young players who are going on to college, but the toughest thing is wrestling with the mental aspect of the game, and how do you bounce back from what you would call a mistake? How do you bounce back from things not going your way? So I think he's going to be fine. I think he might have to make one or two big saves here in the second half.
I think he is. He's definitely going to be challenged. That's Andy Coverstone, our analyst today. There's a shot back across, denied. The serve tried to add to the 1-0 lead. Already making a massive save just moments ago was Charlie Dusky, the man in goal. 1-0 still. The serve on top. The better players in the game right here. That one dropped back over. Is Ryan Townsville. Ryan Townsville, such a great facility, dropped it, but it was blocked, and now it's back in the hands of Dusky. So I don't know about you, but number 8, Ryan Townsville, we've already talked about the amount of field that he's covered, but he's the kind of player that I would pay to watch. I mean, he's fun to watch.
Yeah, he's an exciting player on the ball. He just kind of always looks busy, right? He's always moving, legs are always churning. He gets the ball at his feet, and he's flying. He's operating at 100% at all times. So he's fun to watch. He's a player who looks to love to have the ball at his feet.
Serve. Serve is knocked down. One of the things that Caleb Porter always taught at Akron, and then of course went on to have success in the MLS, won a national championship at Akron, was when you had a lead, the best way to win, he called it death by possession. And right now, the San Diego Surf starting to get a little bit more of the ball. The more and more they have in the ball, the more they can get a little bit closer to winning that national championship.
Well, the best defense is a great offense, right? So whenever you're on the ball, you can't get scored on. And this is kind of looking more typical of what I thought this game would look like. Surf in possession, Gallagher waiting to find moments to transition and counterattack.
Here's the man that I said I would pay to see, but it's handled there again by Dusky. Great work again by Ryan Townsville. He's everywhere.
He's been busy and he's been on the ball, and you wonder if anybody's going to add another one for Surf. It might be him. But one of the things that I think you could say potentially about the Surf team is when they're at their most dangerous, they might also be at their most vulnerable, meaning when they're in possession, they're stretching the field high, wide. It looks like they've added 10 yards on either side of the field just from how they position themselves, how they get numbers forward. But the danger for them, especially being up a goal, is the potential for leaving spaces open in transition, leaving spaces open for Kansas City to win the ball and then get forward right away.
Throw in here. Good job holding it up. That's a little turn. That is great job by number 11, Sam McIntosh. And it'll be a corner kick. Corner kick, Kansas City, Scott Gallagher.
Come on, Carson, let's go!
Kansas City, Scott Gallagher, the ECNL Heartland Conference champs in 23 and 22. ECNL National Playoffs in both those years. Number 2 overall seed in 23. Number 1 a year ago. That one set in. And that one will sail over as Baha Ibrahim looked to be the man there. They have had 2 All-Americans come out of the Kansas City Scott Gallagher program. And before joining the ECNL, they were a Midwest Regional champ and a Premier 1 champ as well. 67th minute.
We got that.
So we thought there would be a water break, and indeed there is. The fourth official was kind enough to tell us that that was coming. All right, 67th minute, we got a water break. We're going to turn you into a coach again, Andy. All right, so clearly they had their message at halftime. I felt like Kansas City responded, but now maybe their legs are getting a little bit tired, so how do they stay in this and try to get the equalizer?
Well, it goes back to the importance of those substitutions that they're going to be making throughout the half. And you've seen a couple for both sides in this second half. You've seen Kansas City do everything in terms of they created corner kicks, they created a few free kicks, opportunities, set pieces. What I look for them to do is to continue to commit numbers forward, especially in the high and wide channels. As Surf pushes numbers to get possession in the attacking half for themselves, they leave a little bit of gaps and some space on either side of their center back. So potential for Kansas City to stretch their attacking players high and wide and maybe counterattack through those channels. But again, at the end of the day, you're drawing on your players to bring energy. You're drawing on them to give it everything that they have. They're battling through the heat. They're battling through a long week of games, of emotions, all these things that are going into it. So game plan is one thing, but mentality, approach to the remaining parts of this half, the willingness to get forward and leave it all on the line. I think everything you can in these team talks. San Diego Surf, again, for those coaches, it's bend, don't break, get in possession, relax on the ball, and see if you can add that second goal and put this game away. But we're definitely due for some excitement here in the last 20-25 minutes of this game.
Great breakdown from Andy Coverstone, Dean Winky with you, our producer Andrew Wheeler, who are in the 69th minute, but that includes a 2 to 3 minute water break. So we will have some added time to Surf with the 1-0 lead. They know right now heading into their water break, they are, 25 minutes away from a national title. Surf has won 1 national title for ECNL boys. They won 4 for the girls. They've won 12 total national championships on all platforms. All right, getting ready to take the corner, get grind time. Have you got something, Andy?
Just look at the changes for Kansas City Scott Gallagher as it looks like they've put 2 numbers forward, committing, like we said, more numbers forward. They've got 2 players, with Baha being one of them, looking to potentially stretch and counter off this corner kick.
All right, we'll keep an eye out for that. Corner kick for the Surf, trying to add to their 1-0 lead. Get out of the air. All right, here we go. We have seen Dusky bomb it long. And Brandon Waterman has a legitimate beef as Dusky was bumped as he was going to kick it right there. The wrong ECNL boys title came last season at the U13 age. Trying to add one going to score. I think it may need to come through Baja.
Well, you see the emotions right there as that touch just not quite right from Kansas City as Baja's tried to slip that runner in behind the back line, but the longer and longer you go in this game, the more and more you try to find that solution and break down the back line, the more it doesn't work out, the more likely you might be to get frustrated. And every frustrating moment is just seconds off the clock. Every negative reaction, that's another second off the clock. So, like you said, it'll be important for him to just keep searching, keep probing, keep looking for that equalizer.
He's essentially playing the 9 right now as well.
We have to get off three.
Good switch at the point of attack. Back by D'Alessandro. He's also been very good. D'Alessandro will put it down on the ground. This is dangerous. The goalkeeper is out. Squared back to Clark. D'Alessandro got it all started. And a tremendous finish for the Surf. They will celebrate in the corner. Started with D'Alessandro winning that ball.
Unbelievable bit of skill. Like you said it from the right back to Alessandro. Gets the ball, collects it on his chest. Sombreros, the attacking player who's closing into pressure on him.
Hang on, I'm seeing it right now. Speared across and in the finish.